It is Monday, October 4th, and we're chatting about the challenge here on Jury Duty. All right, a lot happened in this episode, so I'm really excited to start talking about it. First of all, Jeremiah and Big T. Okay, let's talk about them. Because Jeremiah was like so dead set on getting a new partner based on what Big T's performance in the challenge that he was also underperforming in. So like, what was that? Really not down for like the slandering of Big T's name, especially after CC did that to her last season and then regretted it, apologized, and took it back. Okay, so
well, I love that you're bringing this up because I actually wrote a note about it while I was watching the episode, and I thought it was funny because even at this point, Big T I think had actually gotten her key like pretty well. Like she did well in it, and she got right back to the shore. And then you know, Jeremiah took longer, if anything, and then you see Big T trying her hardest to get the key, and you hear Jeremiah going like, you know, he's going, Big T, you got to be faster, than that, and he was doing awful, he was doing terrible in the competition. Like, Big T I thought was way faster than him in her part, so you know.
Yeah, I don't know what all that was about. I don't know what that was about. That kind of annoyed me. Just wanted to make sure we touched on that.
Yeah, I totally agree.
And then moving forward, unless you had something to say on that, Gina. No, Jeremiah, you don't. See, we don't know.
Like, no, what were you gonna say?
No, go ahead. And I'm saying we don't really know Jeremiah, so I don't have a lot of comments on this. Like Big T,
right, but like he hasn't really done anything for me, like to be for or against. He's just kind of like there. So I just don't really feel any which way about him.
Another one that I enjoy to like looking at, but doesn't really give me much else otherwise. Although I did find them fun at the end of the episode, but
yeah,
I like to go chronological order, like with this one. And if we're keeping with that, then we got to talk about Amber B, okay? Because she is just like wild in this year, and like I have mixed feelings on like a lot of like what's going on with her. On the surface, I want to say that I think it's so very stupid that you're saying that you want to go into an elimination just to send Berna home and all this other stuff. But you know what? She came in as a rookie last season. She won, yes, but nobody's putting any respect on her name at this point. So I feel like if she can just rack up some like elimination wins, it's going to help her like to not be targeted as much. Because I feel like people are targeting her because they feel like she didn't actually earn her stripes, and that's always been such a big thing in like the challenge world. Like you got to go in and earn your stripes, and she kind of won and didn't. So I don't know.
Yeah, I like, you know, Amber B is such an interesting person in this game to me because like I do think that some of it is jealousy on people's part because there are a bunch of vets in this game that had never won. So like,
they've played for years and never won.
Yeah, like who's this rookie that's come in and like, but like I don't know if there's like there must be conversations like off camera that we don't see because I've never seen any actual indication in an actual episode. I feel like, but I think I remember multiple people in this episode talking about how like I'm tired of hearing these stories about Amber B's last season. Amber B.
Well, Amber B. Like, they've been saying that for a couple of episodes too. Like I'm just so sick of her and hearing her talk about like whatever, and it's like what?
Yeah, like but like. You know, even Casey, like when Amber was talking about going down, she was like, "All right, Amber, we get it. You won last year, but like, chill out on trying to throw yourself down." Like, it's like, I don't know. Everybody else is bringing it up.
Yeah, listen, I'm not a big Amber B fan, but I have to say, like, I feel like part of the reason why she's behaving this way is because like she's just been disrespected so much. Like, and she just wants to go in there. Yeah, they're all just like coming for her. I don't know. It's just she's in a very weird position, you know, because I still don't really think that Casey's on her side. I think she's just kind of tolerating her because she lost Fessy and like she's at least a number and like she's down for Big Brother still in a weird way, even though she says she's not. Like Amber doesn't really have anybody else to fall back on because she's still technically a rookie.
Yeah. I actually am sort of curious if like Emmy wanting to go down, you know, in the previous elimination to get a new partner and to take CT. I wonder if that saved Amber in a way, because Casey, I know, had been toying with the idea about Amber, and like Emmanuel sort of set the tone of like, I want to try to help my friend. Emmy wants a new partner, so I'm saying Emmy, and Casey went along with it. But like, if Emmanuel didn't have any interest in it and didn't have something like an idea like that in mind, I wonder if Amber might have been in danger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, see, we say danger, but Amber wanted to go.
Right. Yeah, it's true too.
She wanted to go. And what do we think about Berna and Emmy? Like that whole beef, even though I guess it's sort of a non-issue now. Yeah. But I don't know. I was sort of on Berna's side with this one. Because I don't think it was necessary for Emmy to lie. Like Berna flat out said, like, are you going to take CT? And she said no. So like you could have just said right there, yeah, I'm going to take him.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Especially with how open she is being now. Like, you're not my friend, Berna. You're not my friend. Like, it's so easy to say it now. Like, why not just tell her I'm going to take CT if I go in and I win?
Right. You feel so brave enough to say it because you already did it and you took CT, and like now you know she's just kind of out here and like alone. Like, I don't know, kind of like a weak move. You're not as tough as you act like you want to be seen. This Emmy. All right. So
I thought it was interesting to see Nelson like get involved in the Emmy Berna drama too, getting in there, like asking Emmy, like, why wouldn't you tell Berna that you're going to take her partner? And
shut up, Nelson.
I know.
Like, Nelson is such a tool bag. Like, none of this is going to matter in 6 weeks. Now that Berna's gone, he ain't going to be talking about Berna. I mark my words, when we get to this reunion, Nelson ain't going to be nothing about Miss Berna. Okay. Like that's going to be done and over. You think you care about her so much. This is only episode 8. You see how many people we have left? Please. Things are going to be so different by the time we get to the end of this. Yeah. No. I think Emmy's decision to take CT was a smart one. Game wise, I just don't think it was necessary for her to lie.
Yeah, I agree.
But now we saw Huey leave. Because his ass was too big.
literally, his ass was too big for the competition.
Oh. So funny. I was actually surprised that they lost this one. Well, it wasn't for the ass thing. I guess they may not have.
I for a second I thought they might catch up.
Yeah,
when they got to the top up there. Yeah, like.
Yeah, I was really disappointed with the way that ended, but I was impressed with Priscilla.
Yeah,
and I love that
zooming up that thing.
They were flying up there. They ran into so many problems cutting that cord that I thought that was going to be curtains for them.
Yeah.
But I'm really excited going into this next week with what Priscilla did. Creating this situation now where we're not going to have like a rookie team. Finally, now I feel like the game's going to start, you know. So many things have been so predictable. We're watching people go home that we don't even know. So these were not eliminations that we cared very much about. Like now things are going to start to get interesting, especially when we saw in the coming attractions thing that Devin was now talking about how he wants a veteran non-champion to win. What an interesting split that I never even thought of in this game. I can't wait because it's always been the non-winners teaming up with the winners, hoping they can cut them later. So this is interesting. This is exciting to me.
We also saw too in that next coming up, like I forget who was actually yelling at him, but I think they were yelling at Corey, and they were saying something about him like working with Jeremiah in the challenge or something. So I think we're gonna see like fireworks.
Josh was yelling at someone.
Yeah.
Josh is always yelling at someone, though. Like, it's almost like not interesting at this point.
Like, do you think that like the vets are pissed at like Ashley at all, and maybe even Tori, because she was kind of mentioning it too, but like how vocal Ashley was being about like, remember, if you take from a vet team, then there's not going to be any like rookie teams, and we're going to make you pay for that. And this
I was
and that.
so
like,
surprised to see everybody speaking so openly about that. I was like, I thought that we were trying to like keep this on the DL. Like, why is everyone all of a sudden being like, this is what we're doing?
I'm even before this deliberation, I made a note about this, because like during the actual competition itself, Tori like made this comment because Berna and Huey were doing like very well in the competition, right? Like they were like way ahead in their heat or whatever. And somebody said, Tori asked like, oh, are Berna and Huey going to be the first ones to get their key? And somebody was like, yeah, they're way ahead. And Tori was like, well, that's not good. And like, she's standing around like all these rookies. And I'm like, you guys are just so open about what you're doing. And yet the rookies haven't stopped you at all. It wasn't until Ashley and Tori started like going off on this whole, oh, well, if you take from a rookie vet team, you're just going to make a rookie team. But if you take from a vet team, we're going to make you pay for it. And it's like, why are you telling them what's been keeping you so successful all season? Like, what are you doing?
Right. Well, because they're just that cocky at this point, and they don't think that anything can like mess them up.
Yeah.
But this moment was bound to come anyway.
Right. And I'm glad it's here. I'm glad it's here.
I'm ready for things to get going. I'm ready for things to get going.
I am just curious to see if like any of the vets are saying that, like, to actually, why would you like say all that? Like Priscilla knew exactly what to do, like who to go for now, like who to take. Like,
it almost seems like though collectively they've all just decided like to say this, because Kyle was saying it in his DRs too.
Yeah.
So like
maybe they want to.
Yeah, especially if somebody like Kyle is already talking about it in his DRs, then like he's definitely saying it like elsewhere. Like Kyle's so like messy, like politically, that like please.
And I almost feel like Fessy going could have been part of the reason for like this shift too, because like he was such a big, strong physical threat that no one wants to go down into elimination against him. No one wants to end up in like a hall brawl against Fessy. And now that he's out of the house, everybody else looks a little bit more beatable, maybe, you know, like if they have to face them in elimination. So it's like, all right, let's just get to it.
Yeah, it does blow things open, and it leaves a big hole in the Vet Alliance. Even if he didn't leave, it was leaving a hole there anyway, because like that was the end of like Fessy and Josh, and the Big Brother Alliance is such a big part of the Vet Alliance. So what an interesting problem to have. But with him gone, that blows everything open, like competition wise and politically. So I think it's great. Thanks for the support, Tommy. Loving the love.
Tommy.
Hey.
But yeah, I'm really, really excited about this upcoming week. So I wrote down what these new the new teams were. So obviously Priscilla stole Josh. Interesting because, well, we'll get into that. Jeremiah and Tori. Okay. All right. That's interesting. You know, she's a formidable competitor, you know. Big T and Nelson. I would have been excited for this, but the looks on their faces did not excite me. They didn't look like they were too happy to end up with each other. So,
well, who really didn't look too happy is the next names you're about to say.
Ashley and Ed.
She was pissed.
She was pissed.
I went over like, "Hi, partner," and she was like, "No."
Yeah, but I don't think it was Ed.
Yeah,
I think she was just miffed with the way that whole thing went down.
Yeah.
I don't think that was for Ed. I guess we will find out.
I think that she's pissed that like she kind of got made to look like a little bit of a fool, because
she got burned.
Yeah, and I think that like when I look at these 4 new teams that have been created, these are actually pretty decent teams. I don't think that any of these 4 teams would be considered like anywhere near like the weakest of the teams in the house. Like, you know, like,
no, I think there's some pretty solid teams. I mean, honestly, well, okay. If anything, the weakest team, in my opinion, is Priscilla and Josh. I don't see Josh as a strong competitor at all.
No.
No. I feel like he always fizzles out in physical competitions. He only had his first elimination win in the challenge after playing this game for several seasons. He only had his first elimination win last season.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was so momentous. He was crying, people were clapping. It was like a whole big to do. Like we rolled out the red carpet, people attended this as if this was like an event. It was really rather ridiculous.
Yeah.
No, I don't think that Josh is really all that great, but I'm happy that Priscilla did what she did because it's gonna shake things up in a fun way. Because I really don't think that Ashley is somebody that you really want to piss off. She gets drunk a lot. She gets very angry. And on top of that, she's a really fierce competitor. She's won this game more than once. I don't know. Not exactly who you want to make angry.
Yeah, she's badass. She's tough.
She is. She's one of my favorites for a reason. Big T and Nelson, I'm excited by, even though they weren't. Because again, Big T is often underrated, and Nelson's good. If they can just be nice to each other, they'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
They benefit from a switch. I'm not saying this shouldn't bring them to the final, but
right.
This won't be the end of them. No,
they'll stick around for a while.
I think so. That's all I have on that, actually. I thought I had so much more to say about the challenge, but
you were like, I can't wait to talk about the challenge.
I know, and I was very excited to talk about what we talked about, and I had my comments, but that was really it. And I just feel like this is just one of those weeks that were set up for something really fantastic, because of what Priscilla did. I can't wait to see how these vets go at each other. What are you laughing at?
I know, it's just it's kind of just a stupid comment, but I was laughing. I thought it was funny during the deliberation. I think it was Emmanuel was says to Jeremiah, if you take Casey from me, I will drink your blood. He's crazy.
What is the deal? Why is everyone so obsessed with this man?
He's crazy.
I don't know why.
He's pretty crazy.
I wish there were feeds to tell us more, because there must be more fun things going on that we just are not seeing. We don't have any access to.
I also saw so we were talking, was it last week? I don't remember, about because there was that whole are they friends or aren't they friends, whether Berna and Emmy had known each other since before the challenge.
Yes.
I couldn't remember where everybody was from.
I saw somebody commented they were not from the same.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's where I was going with that. Is somebody had commented actually Emmanuel and Emmy were on the same season of whatever it was, Big Brother, I think they played on.
Right.
They know each other from outside of the house.
Yeah.
It was Survivor, sorry.
It's Survivor.
But since getting out of the house, apparently those two are now dating. So it's everybody is on the Emmanuel train, and it's very strange to me.
I don't get it. And the whole vampire thing, and I don't get any of that.
If I'm being honest, it kind of screws me out a little bit.
Yeah, it's kind of a little off-putting.
He makes me uncomfy.
Yeah, I don't like any of it. Sorry.
Tori seemed to be really digging him, and I thought he reminds me of of Jordan in a way. In a way, I can see similarities, and I'm wondering if that's why Tori is
Well, wasn't he also the one that told somebody that he loved her when she was leaving? Because he was oh my god, I fell in love with this woman. Wasn't that him?
That was Was that Logan? Wasn't that Logan?
I feel like there was somebody else that Emmanuel was. I think
somebody yelled "I love you" at somebody when they were leaving, and they were like, "This is not what love means, my dear. You've known this person in this game for 10 minutes."
He said that to Michelle, who was also from Survivor.
Michelle.
Yes.
Didn't they have something going on?
Maybe.
I thought it was him, but maybe I'm wrong.
No, maybe I'm wrong. I'm wrong.
I really kind of thought they did too, because I got that feeling.
I could be wrong. It was one of them.
I'm really happy, by the way, to see CT just doing well this season, winning multiple challenges now, daily challenges and stuff. I just love CT, and I just So I just wanted to say
I
that.
expected from CT. I like that he made a larger political move early in the game because, he does not like playing the way that Berna was playing. And I guess that was the other note that I did want to make. Like, I kind of felt bad for Berna because, like, what she doesn't realize is so many people were working against her, especially with the entire teammate switch thing. I feel like if she knew that CT was so active in that, she would have been a whole lot less upset. Because I think
like playing the same as her in what way? Like lying and she wasn't.
Well, just Berna was just out there because who is she? She was out there saying that she wanted. Was it Amber? She was talking about somebody and wanting to take somebody out, or she didn't like this one, and like she was trying to get too involved in something. I don't remember what the conversation was.
I think Amber sounds right because she's just been hating on Amber all season.
Yeah, and I feel like that's what it was, and like that's not the kind of game that CT likes to play. He likes to just kind of just like stay away from things, he doesn't like to make any waves. He just wants to win things and just kind of just go with the flow and just kind of however the game goes, just kind of ebb and flow like with it. And Berna out here talking about who she wants to be here, who she doesn't want. He doesn't like that public of a political game. So it did not surprise me at all that he was like, I got to get rid of this girl because like this is not how I play. Yeah. So kind of felt bad for Berna in that way. So Berna got burned. I hope that we get to see her again, though.
Yeah, I'd like to see her back.
Yeah, I like how upfront she was, especially in the deliberation when she was talking to Amber, and she's like, "No, I just don't like you. I do not like you." Like, and that's okay. We don't have to like each other. And I was like, "Okay, you know what? This is like a very transparent
people were cracking
way to
up
be."
when she was straight up being like, "I don't like that you keep talking about your season. I don't freaking care.
I don't want to hear your last season stories. No more last season
Everyone
stories.
was like, "Oh my god."
Yeah, like I think I like Berna. Just kind of get dealt a bad hand this season, but I'm sure we'll see her back. We liked her. She caused a lot of drama. She'll come back. Yeah.
You know what? Another thought that I had watching this episode was I feel like I'm also pretty impressed with like Devin's season so far. I feel like he's been playing pretty smart. He's been playing like pretty well in the challenges. He won his heat in this last daily challenge. He didn't win the whole thing, but like I feel like he's been performing pretty well, and I feel like he's been playing smart. And because something we already touched on in what we saw in like sort of coming up on the show, where he has this new plan of like, okay, well, these vets will still stick together, but only with the ones that haven't won yet. Like I feel like he's already been playing well, and like just knowing that he's already going to have such a crucial sort of role going forward, I'm very excited to see like what he does.
I'm excited. I feel like Devin is very much trying to position himself as like the modern Bananas.
Okay.
Like definitely just always the one like causing chaos, but like has like smart, like social, like political things behind it. Like, unfortunately, I just don't think he's going to have like the competition wins that Johnny Bananas does. But I think as far as like character wise and like what he's offering to the show in terms of entertainment, definitely along the same lines.
Right.
Yeah. And unfortunately, Gina don't know these people. I wish.
Lost on me.
I know. That's okay.
Like,
that's okay.
Yes, this thing.
Yes. That sounds great. No, go back. You'll see.
Yeah, you have to go back. There's so much good stuff to watch.
It's a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, so good.
But I don't know. Week ahead, I don't have any expectations. I think it would be interesting to see. It's so hard to predict anything though, because like there's still so many people left. But if we could actually see Devin swing at CT like this early, that would excite me. Or even Ashley.
Yeah.
If not just the two of them, and that's what's so interesting about this season too. Like, if you're the agency, you can just pick whoever you want. Like, you don't have to go for the entire team.
Right.
So if he actually did win, you very well could just choose both of them and just see what happens. Can you imagine?
To see what happens, because we haven't seen it yet. Like every time that somebody from the agency is like, I pick this person, the other one's like, yeah, I'll just go with my teammate. What happens if they don't want the same person in? Like let's say the teams don't work well together. One person wants one down and the other one's what happens? We don't know. We haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, we don't know either. And the way that this game is usually done, you do not know what's going to happen until it happens. And then TJ tells you what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And the way that gets handled changes every season too. So the thing is, like, a lot of people in the challenge play like a very scared game when it comes to things like that. I feel like people who play like Big Brother and people who play Survivor are a little bit more likely to test things like that. Like, let's just see what happens if we do this. Like,
Right.
in the challenge, people don't really do that. They're like, no, we're just gonna do like the normal thing. We're just gonna just keep it the same.
I want to know.
Yeah, I want to know.
I'm
As a
interested.
viewer, I want to know. Sometimes you don't ever get to see those things,
Right?
Because nobody tries it.
I feel like you could go so many ways now, and it really all just depends on who really gets the power. Because we could see someone, like you were saying, who wants to take a big shot. Maybe let's just see what happens. Or you might get people. You might get a couple of vets that are that win, or a team that has a rookie on it, but the vet is really dominant, like a well-established player in the game that kind of takes control of the agency. That might decide, like, I'm going to try to set this up. Like, because we can still vote in a team. We can still have the House vote in a team, and then work with that team to choose like the weakest rookies to go in to try to make sure that rookies still go home. Like depending on who takes power, if it's a certain vet that still wants to work with vets, we might still see them try to like shield each other a little bit. Whereas if it's a vet that really wants to take a big shot at somebody, all hell will just break loose. It'll be interesting. I don't know.
Right. I guess we'll have to tune in Wednesday to find out. Except I'm not watching Wednesday. Doesn't matter when we watch, because when we're going to talk about this again? Next Monday, right? That's what we agreed?
We're doing Challenge Monday, Survivor Wednesday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're also going to do Big Brother Over the Top on Monday, though.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, we have to start that. Melissa's getting impatient. No, she's not. No, she's not. She hasn't.
She zoomed right past it. She said, "You want to watch this show? Great, I'll watch it first. Thank you."
Yeah, she already watched the entire season, so we definitely have to start like working that in.
That should tell people how good it is.
It's so good.
We convinced someone to watch it, and they watched the entire thing before we could even start
without
it.
us.
Before we even started, yeah. But all right, so that's what we'll do next Monday at 9:30. We'll talk about Big Brother Over the Top, the first episode, right? And then the next episode of the challenge.
Mm-hmm.
And the next time you'll all be seeing us is Wednesday at 9:15, where we're talking about the third episode of Survivor.
Ooh.
Yeah, exciting times. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, share with a friend, and we'll see you soon. Thanks a lot.